So when you do a YouTube video channel, comment sections are pretty interesting. One of the ones that I have been battling with quite a bit here recently is this idea that people seem to have that Greensburg has some of the meanest people around. One of the comments went so far as to say that people in Greensburg are trash. I fundamentally, completely disagree with that.
Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum.
So I'm originally from the South, having been born and raised in Arkansas, growing up in right outside of Branson, Missouri, and Springfield, Missouri, then moving to Nashville. But to be honest with you, I have more of a northern mentality, and everybody down south thinks that everybody up north is rude, and it seems like everybody in Greensburg thinks that everybody else in Greensburg is rude. It'd be really easy to now say in this video, hey, leave your comment below about what you think of the people of Greensburg, but I could see how that would probably go south and not be great. And so before you start making the comments below, let me try to illustrate what I believe. When we first planted Keystone Church, we started in a motel. All right, so we were going in this motel, setting up chairs and having a service in a meeting room right over at the Courtyard Marriott right next to Walmart. Right when they built it, we started meeting there. And so we decided that that wasn't a good location and that we needed to have a better setup. We needed a place of our own. So we didn't have any money. We didn't have the people. We didn't have anything. So we met this real estate agent and began to talk to him about this desire that we had to have our own place. And we said, we want to rent something right now because we can't afford to buy anything. Don't have the resources. So this guy began to show us around all these different properties, and we were looking at them, and there's just not a whole lot of church options in Greensburg, but I can remember the day that he called us and he said, I've got the perfect thing for you. It's a building that you need to buy. It's not going to be a rent, but why don't you come check it out? And so I remember driving down this road, Westview Drive, and pulling up to the building that he thought would be great for a church. We've been here for a while now, and let's be honest, we haven't done a whole lot with the outside of the building. In fact, it looks pretty much the same that it did on that day. It doesn't look like a church. It doesn't catch your eye when you're driving past it. People are surprised to hear that it's a church. In fact, I bet this would surprise you even more. This building is a famous building, and it's famous because it was an old bar and nightclub. I did a video on famous buildings from the past in Greensburg recently, and to be honest with you, we have discovered that this building right here is a very, very famous building. It seems like in Greensburg, many, many people have had some sort of a banquet here, a wedding or a birthday party or something like that. And in fact, we've even discovered there's a lot of people that attended the bar that we will show you here in a couple of minutes also. We were walking around Greensburg one time telling everybody that we could about Keystone Church, just going and getting to know people. And I remember coming up to this older man and talking to him, and we invited his family to come out to the church. And the story's told that when he was invited to come out of the church, he said, Keystone Church, I've never heard of that. Where's that? And we said, that's in the building, the old Cole AC building. Are you familiar with the old Cole AC building? And he said, oh yeah, I'm familiar with that place. I've done a lot of sinning in that building. Now, we haven't done a whole lot to the outside of the building, but we've done a lot to the inside of the building. In fact, we were told by the real estate agent, if you come in here, $30,000, you got yourself a church. From that wall to the wall that is behind the camera right now, this was one big open room upstairs. These walls along here did not exist. We put all these up. There's a dance floor right here that goes from one end to this room to into the other room in the fellowship hall there. And you can see some of the old pictures and what it looked like. This place was trashed when we come in. It had sat vacant for about 10, 15 years. There were lawsuits from the neighbors around that had sued the idea of another bar coming into this building, and so we had to go get those cleared up. In fact, it took us a solid year to buy this building. It was a mess to deal with. The place was nasty. There were clouds hanging from the ceiling, as you probably see there, with black ceilings and asbestos tiles and all of this terrible looking stuff. It was dated and it did not look great for a church. This is an old building, and Greensburg is full of a lot of old buildings with a lot of problems. Recently in a video, I went past a video that was condemned with an X showing that it was unsafe and unfit for being restored or anything like that, and was a danger to society. So there are points that buildings reach where they can't be revived and they can't be fixed. But as much as I believe that about buildings and see that about buildings, I don't believe that about people. See, if you were to see the outside of this building, you would see that it is just a plain brick building that looks nothing like a church and couldn't even seem to function as a church. But when you come on the inside, you'll see the changes that we've made. We've worked, we've labored, we've served, and we've done all these things with the goal of changing as much as we can. So it's comfortable and it's nice when you come inside, and it's amazing to see the transition. What was once a bar is now a place where we're telling people about Jesus. See, we use that illustration to explain what we're about here at Keystone Church. Keystone Church exists to reach and serve the community, to bring hope and healing across the street and around the world. Are there inconsiderate people in Greensburg? Absolutely. Are there rude people in Greensburg? Yes. One of them ran into the back of my motorcycle here recently, but that doesn't mean that I can write off people or a group of people as saying that they're the worst that ever existed. See, at the heart of what I believe and what I preach and what I talk about every single day is the idea that people are broken, but there is an answer and there is a hope for people. And do you know why that's good news? Because sometimes you're inconsiderate, sometimes you're rude, sometimes I'm inconsiderate, sometimes I'm rude and I do terrible things, but that means that there's hope for me, and if there's hope for me, then there's hope for everybody else. So I can do one of two things. I can talk about how there seems to be no hope and everybody seems to be rude, or I can be part of something that's bringing about the change. See, I believe that if we change the people, we can change the city. If we can change the city, we can change the world. And it all starts with us making the decision. Am I going to choose to talk about how terrible everybody is, or am I going to be a part of something that brings about the change? For me, I choose to do something about it. So I'm praying for you, Greensburg. I love you, and I'm going to serve you, and I'm going to do all that I can to bring about change. If you believe in what I believe in, if you believe that there is hope for people, if you believe that we can bring about change in this city, I'm going to ask you, don't leave the negative comments below. Let's talk about the great things that we've seen. Let's talk about the great stories that we can tell. Let's talk about being the change that can help people. If that's a mission that you can get behind and that you can believe in, why don't you subscribe to the channel? If the subscribe button is red, you haven't subscribed and you're not getting the notifications to know that our videos are coming out every single week. So hit that subscribe button. Right next to it is the bell icon. Hey, go ahead and hit that bell icon so you can be notified of new videos. Leave a comment below, a positive comment, because I'd love to hear the people that are encouraging people right beside me. I'm not giving up on this city. I believe this city has hope. I believe that it's different. It can be different. And I look forward to the future because this is my city, Greensburg.